a man talking about a sexual thing,
Yeah.
it gives me shut your ass up. Because I think a woman talking about it is very sensual.
Yeah.
She like lowers her voice a bit, and I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to hear Shannon Sharp in my ear talking about he done put the thing up in there. Shut up! Yeah, I feel violent.
Welcome to Thoughts in the Glass podcast. I'm LaToya.
And I'm Kendra.
And this is a weekly podcast where we share our unfiltered opinions on a variety of topics.
So sit back, grab your favorite drink, and join us on a journey of the real, the raw, and the ridiculously funny conversations.
So every week we do a drink of the night. Kendra, what's the drink tonight?
So tonight's drink is called Aperol Spritzer Classic.
Fancy.
It's a little Italian.
Okay.
Italian. But it's still, again, so with my weight loss stuff, I'm incorporating a little bit more of like club sodas and then the Prosecco, the dry, so we don't have as much sugar. But it's pretty easy to make. So in your rocks glass, you're going to have ice. You 3 ounces, which is also 1 part dry Prosecco. You're going to do 3 ounces, which is 1 part Aperol. It's the actual alcohol.
Okay.
1 ounce, i.e. a splash, of the club soda or unflavored sparkling water, and then you'll just garnish it with an orange.
What's Aperol? What kind of alcohol is that?
So it's more of like a liqueur with because it has bitters in it and stuff like that. A lot of times people will use it for like martinis,
but it's not like a gin or vodka or something like that.
I don't believe so. I have to double check. Let me see. Let me just double check real quick. Because you use it for you can use it in bellinis and stuff like that. Hold on.
And then if it's not that, could you add, I mean, obviously you can add anything you want, but like, if it's a liqueur, if you wanted it a little stronger, you could just add whatever spirit you wanted to add.
Yes. So... yeah, so it is an Italian bitters.
Don't start.
It's basically a bunch of bitters.
Okay.
That turn into a liqueur.
Okay.
And so you have a bunch of different types of bitters among other ingredients.
Okay.
And so that's why you can add it. So it's like more for like the French stuff.
Okay.
So you'll do it for like your French 75, you're going to use it for that.
Okay.
A lot of your like martini-ish type of things. A lot of your Italian stuff, you use more of the liqueur side of things, bitters side of things. So you'll have.
You know what we should make? I saw on TikTok somebody making their own limoncello, and I feel like we could make it, even though it's made with vodka. But so basically, they take lemon peels and they soak them in vodka like overnight or for a certain amount of hours, and then they strain that liquid and and they add simple syrup, and that's the limoncello.
Well, you could do that like when you have like your certain vodkas, tequilas, whatever. If you soak them in any type of lemon, or if you do strawberry, orange, you turn it into that vodka. Or so you could you could do a strawberry vodka. You just everything just kind of overnight.
Yeah. They do that too. What's that restaurant where they do the pineapples? Down at the National Harbor. Not Red Rocks. What is it? It's a restaurant at the National Harbor where they have like a big like soon as you walk in, it's like a big container filled with pineapples and vodka.
I have never been. I think you're talking about the little red thing. You talking about red thing?
Yeah.
That's right there across from McCormick and Schmidt.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it though, but I know it's red something.
Well, anyway, that's kind of their signature drink.
Oh, nice.
And so just the same concept.
So
that you
vodka
were saying.
infused.
Yeah, anything that you do, you can infuse with vodka. Okay, well, cheers.
Oh, we didn't even cheers. Cheers to that. It's super good.
I like it. Yeah, I've been liking these.
I like the summery things.
But I think also too, I like sweet drinks. So,
well, yeah.
like when we been making the old fashions and stuff, it'd be like.
But again, so the old fashioned is more of an Italian side of things. That's why you have the one that's what did we have? That one.
Oh, the that we couldn't pronounce.
Yes, and it was from New Orleans.
Yeah,
because, that's
the
very right, very cari or whatever. Yes, yes. Anyway,
we didn't get into it. Oh, so today is June 12th, which is Loving Day.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool. I mean, I
it allows you to love who you love.
Right, exactly.
Be who you be.
Which is fine for those that want to do that. I have never dated outside my race. So okay. I don't know. I can't really speak to it. But basically, I'm going to give y'all the synopsis. So basically, Loving Day is the annual national celebration held on June 12th. It's the anniversary of the 1967 United States Supreme Court decision, Loving versus Virginia, which struck down the miscegenation.
Miscegenation.
Laws, remaining in the 16 U.S. states. So in the United States, anti-miscegenation laws were U.S. state laws banning interracial marriage, mainly forbidding marriage between two different races until the Warren Court ruled unanimously in 1967 that the state laws were unconstitutional.
Right.
But
let's be honest. The races were just black and white, or white with anything else. That's
not exactly, which is kind of crazy that like there was a law.
Yeah.
That you couldn't like really.
But what's things that just don't make sense. It's still a law if you read your contract when you buy houses. Mm-hmm. Where you cannot sell to another black person. So there's still stuff in there that doesn't allow you to do things like that.
Wow, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how people really felt like their race was so important.
So I'm not going to say that because I feel like everybody should take pride in their race. I feel like the problem is that you thought your race was more superior than another.
Right. But and when I say so important, I mean in the sense that you made it illegal for people to mix. Like you really felt as though, and I guess a part of it is that fear of if people are mixing, then your race would die out. But like, I guess it doesn't, in my opinion, and it is what it is. This is in the past. But in my opinion, it didn't need to be a law because people already had that mentality. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like saying, we're going to make it illegal for you to do something when half of the people don't want to do it anyway. So why are you making it illegal?
Well, part of it is because if you do have more people mixing of races, then you won't be able to sometimes you won't be able to distinguish who's white and who's black because you have people that will take more of that hue of the Caucasian, and so it's like we don't want and then of course when it came down to it they thought they were a superior race,
and I feel like they want a reason to punish people that do. Yes. Like because you don't think the way I think and because you want to do things a different way. Well, this is illegal, so now I can punish you for it. Right,
because you should not desire someone who's black. You should not desire.
But then y'all doing all this raping.
But the thing is, you want what you can't have. But this is the problem why, and I think this is why it was a law, is because if you make if you say that it's okay to marry someone that's black or whatever, then you also have to admit that that's a person.
Yes.
So because we were not considered people, how do you feel? Like how do you rationale that?
It goes hand in hand with the dehumanization.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You can't say, oh, you can marry this person, but that person's not a human. Like it doesn't. We're considered cattle.
Right.
We next to the pigs, child. But anyway,
well, whatever. This is a positive thing.
Yeah. So the fact that it has been overturned, it's just I just hate that our lives are dictated by other people.
Yeah,
but
and
then I gotta still pay taxes.
it's important too because they are in the process of reversing a lot of laws. So yeah, it's like we celebrating Loving Day, but shoot, they done reversed Roe v. Wade. So listen,
Anything can
we
happen up
got
in
to
this
pay
mug.
attention and we have to be
This
involved in what's
my
going on because
it's ridiculous.
it is.
I was talking to my dad, and I was just like, because if you think about it, if you really think about it, because Loving was what 19.
Wasn't that long ago? 1967.
Do you know those people are still in office?
Yeah, some of those people are still in office.
So imagine how like you got to go. There should be term limit. Like that's the problem. You can't. You was here when it was illegal to marry black and white, but now we in a space where my damn car can park itself. You should not still be in office, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah.
So I feel like even the people that's been here since women couldn't have credit cards on their own.
Yeah.
And that was only in what, the 50s?
Yep.
Or no, was it the 50s? Whenever it was. I feel like it was, I think it was actually in maybe the 80s. Either 70s or 80s, because I was thinking, I was like, well, my mother was grown. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, 1974.
You know, my mother, well, I ain't gonna tell her. My mother was grown, and you couldn't even get a goddamn credit card. You couldn't get a checking account if you didn't have a husband until 1974.
Yeah, it was the Equal Credit Opportunity Act that allowed women to have the right to access credit. That's crazy. That's wild.
That is only, what, 12 years before we was born?
Yeah.
12 years before we was born? This is, and these people still in office. I will go down a tangent, but I refuse to allow this to mess up this loving day.
Yeah.
So anyway, to all the interracial couples, you know.
Yeah, happy loving day.
Happy loving day.
Anyway, how was your week? What'd you do this week?
The week was good. I am coming back off of the last week when Joshua was sick. Mm-hmm. So literally only was in the office like 12 hours. Mm. So this week I was trying to make up time and get through a lot of stuff. So that was good. The weather's been really nice.
Super nice.
So nice. So other than a couple of thunderstorms that we've had.
We didn't get them down here.
They were, a lot of times it happened while we were at work. Mm-hmm. They were in that little cluster because I didn't have a lot of rain when I got home, but I could tell that it hadn't rained. Okay. And then what else did we do? That was it. And then we went and saw, over the weekend, we saw Bad Boys. Well, wait. Before I did that, no. We went and saw Bad Boys. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
When they come for you. It was so good.
Was it?
I mean, when I tell you the action.
So it's not like one of those ones where you're like, all right, give it up. This is the fourth one.
Let me know.
Y'all still.
No. So it's like going in, and I think they do enough of a time space where it doesn't feel like it's like a back-to-back
right
kind of thing.
Yeah. And
so I like the surprises of the guests that you see up in there that aren't in like the trailers and stuff. I was like, oh, not you up in here. What you doing?
Yeah.
I liked that this was more of a challenging, I gotta come to Jesus. I need to figure out a new way of living for Mike Lowry.
Okay.
Same thing with Marcus Burnett. It was him trying to he's navigating a sense of the newity of being older and not being that same person, and a realization that life is too short to be so wound up all the time, kind of thing. I like that, and I know this is part of the trailer of you seeing them. I get to see them now on the run, and to see how they are, and being able to see Mike Larrywood now having to deal with his son, kind of thing, and that whole dynamic. It was really good. If it and because they had some of the old people from the Bad Boys for Life, the third one, because this is the thing, and I think this is what I appreciate, because they're getting older, it could not center around them only.
Right.
You have to have new blood because of new technology that we
Yeah.
know y'all don't know about, but it just incorporated it in very well.
I also think that, and I don't know, did Will Smith executive produce this?
I don't know, but I know it's so when I was talking to D, and he was like, it's a new. They had a younger director.
Okay.
And you can, when I tell you, and so it wasn't necessarily for me. You already know what the concept is for Bad Boys. The thing that I thoroughly enjoyed, the action was on it.
Yeah.
The action, it had everybody like, shit.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Will Smith was one of the executive producers. And so what I was going to say about that is I think that he understands that as a movie maker. He understands the fact that while it may be the same franchise, you have to change. You have to make the story more current.
Yes.
And I think from his work on like the Fresh Prince kind of reboot, I think he maybe learned that, hey, it could be the same general concept,
right?
But times have changed, so you're gonna have to bring it up to 2024.
When I say they brought it up to yesterday, they sure did. They sure did. I was so, and I know. At first, I was so happy that we had an opportunity to see it the opening weekend, because I wanted to definitely support it for this opening weekend. And then I can tell, especially because I've watched some of the when they've gone out to promote the movie, I could tell something's going on with Martin. Like, you can see that something's going. I don't know,
like health wise,
and I don't know how much longer he has. You could definitely tell he's gained weight.
Definitely see that he's slowing down.
Because I think on one thing too, one of the things, they was coming out and they were on like somebody the camera view had them looking up, and you could see Will assisting him to wherever he was. So I don't know how much longer, but I will say, if and I just, this is a big if, this was the last one, it didn't feel like they just let me down. Like, if they said they wasn't going to do no more,
they left it on a high note.
This would make this, because when we came out the movie, he was like, they got to do another one. Like, that's how you felt about it.
And I wonder too if by introducing or like some of the, or continuing with some of the storylines of the former characters, if that sets it up to where Will and Martin maybe don't have to be main characters. Right. Like, we could do another one where you follow some of these other storylines, and they might just be cameos.
Yeah, yeah. I think that they may do, if they do another one, maybe like one more, but at that point, I think if this was the last one, I know Will could, but you can just definitely see that Martin has definitely slowed down. Like, if he still continued on and like used him, like if Martin, like say let's he retired and went back he just doing cameos in it, I still think that it could maybe do one more, but I don't, with his health, unless things change, I think that I see Martin kind of going on
a decline. Yeah,
for that type of
stuff. Like, he can't be running around and doing all that no more. How old is Martin? I'm trying to look up his age. I don't know.
He still look good though.
Oh, he's 59. I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's only child.
So he'll be 60 next April.
Yeah,
I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but it was so good. It was so good. I would go see it again in the movies.
Really?
Oh God, yes.
I need to see it. I was busy this past weekend, so I didn't get to see it. But it's on my list. I was actually thinking I might go like one day after work, or maybe like Friday early, like do a matinee. Yeah, because I just, movies on the weekends, I just sometimes be like, it'd be too much going on.
Yeah.
Okay, and Will Smith is 55, so they're 5 years apart. Okay.
And so then I also saw, so we went to the CMX Theater in Tyson's. Mm-hmm. It was nice. If you ordering food and drinks, it's gonna be expensive.
Yeah, I've been.
But the food was good. I had that little shrimp linguine. I said, okay, well, linguine, and the shrimp was nice.
Yeah,
nice ass shrimp. So.
The only thing about it is I don't like that it be dark. Like you can't really see.
You get your little light. Boop, boop.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be too dark.
Girl, I was in that. Shoot, it was good. And what about you? How was your week? What you got going
on? Not much. It's been a quiet week. Over the weekend, I went to a cookout at my girlfriend's house. I had my little cousins with me. Book club, which was cool. The book we read was a Frida McFadden book called The Perfect Son. So we talked about that. Frida McFadden is known for her psychological thrillers. I think I may have mentioned her on the podcast before, and I'm good for a psychological thriller. Like I'll read whatever, but I prefer my romance, my fantasies. So I like that. You could dabble into something. Yeah, historical dramas. Yeah. But this was okay. One thing I will say about so far I've read 2 Frida McFadden books. One thing I will say is it's kind of getting a little bit predictable, her writing style. Okay. It's like she'll take you on this journey of a story, and then literally in the last page of the last chapter, all of these different plot twists are coming out in the end. And so while I was reading this book, I was kind of knowing that that's her way that she writes. Yeah. As I'm reading it, I'm like, I can't get attached to any storyline. Yeah. As you're telling me what's going on, I'm like, okay, well, it gives me, I'm like reading it with not anxiety, but I'm reading it like with side eye the whole time. Yes. Because I'm like, yeah, you're telling me what you want me to hear, but I know how you write. Yeah. And at the end of this book, it's going to be like, yeah, oh, but while this person was at school, this person was doing this, or, you know what I mean? So it's not one of those books where you can kind of solve the mystery as you go along, because she only gives you, it's like a sleight of hand. I have you looking this way, right, and then at the end, I pull all this stuff out that you would have no clue about until you get to the end of the book. Yeah. So some people like that. I'm getting to the point where I'm like, now that I know that that's your style, it's like you don't even drop nuggets. And give me some nuggets, like, because I want to try to solve it. So you would
be like, oh, I did read that. Oh, let me go back. Then you makes you go back to kind of be like.
So I could be like, oh, so that's why this happened. It's like, it's no nuggets at all. It's like she literally has you focused in on 1 or 2 characters. She'll have this other character over here doing all this shit in the background, and it comes out at the end. So it's like, oh, yeah, and while you were doing this, I was doing that. And it's like, well, okay, why didn't you give me any hints on that as I was reading it? Right. Like, you never shed any.
Like if you write in, it's like, oh, such and such and such and such were at they doing this, and then we don't know how. Like, somebody else was there, and so you're like, well, what the fuck they was doing there? Kind of thing. And then at the end, it's like, oh, that's why they was there, because they was doing, I get it.
So stuff like that kind of irritates me with her writing, but it is what it is. So, I mean, book club, I one thing I've learned about book club is that we all have different interests. And so
you got to kind of go.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit eclectic when you're, because whatever book that gets selected, it may be in somebody else's interest. One thing, though, that, and a lot of my book club members listen, and I don't care. I don't appreciate that none of them like fantasy.
Right. You have to still try it.
Thank you.
Everything should be tried.
Because I'm the kind of person that, I'm not going to say I don't. The only genre that I really don't like is urban fiction, but I'll still listen to it, right? Or read it. So I feel like even though they don't like fantasy, like at the same way that I'm opening up, my palette to other stuff, open up your palette. Even if we did one fantasy book, you know what I mean? Everybody may not like it, but give it a chance. Yeah. You never know. You might end up liking it. Or you might be like, okay, I still don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at least I gave it a chance. Yeah. Like, So that would be my only kind of gripe is that like we kind of dibble and dabble into what everyone likes, but whenever I recommend a fantasy book, they're just like completely like
off of it. Yeah. Well, speaking of reading, child, so LaToya been trying to get me to read, and I've been like, I don't have time, right? So I went, and she was like, go to Audible, and I was like, all right. So I went on Audible, and I was like, girl, I got 12 credits. She said, what you mean you got 12 credits? So one of them, this is how they get you. So I'm a Prime member, so one of the books, because I like Ashley Antoinette, I've mentioned that before, and I read Moth to a Flame. So one of the free books was called Ethic.
Okay.
So that's how I started. And so then I started reading Ethic, and I was like, it reminded me of the stuff that was happening in Moth to the Flame. So in 3 days, I finished 6 books. I finished all 6 books.
So now you see how I be reading all these books, or mainly listening. I'm mostly like 95% of the time I'm listening. The only time I'm actually reading a book is if it's not available on Audible.
When I tell you, I emailed LaToya and I was like, "Why did you tell me about this?" Because when my credits is up, my credit card is getting swiped.
It's not that expensive.
I don't listen. It's $19.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was like $14.99 a month.
Oh, for your subscription.
For a credit, so like you get 1 credit a month.
Oh well, I don't know, but I need more than 1 credit. Well, I went through 6 in 3 days.
Yeah.
It's such a good book, and so one of the things that I do appreciate about it, it is not a lot of. I mean, it's not heavy cursing. It's not heavy on drugs. It's more of a thug romance.
Okay.
Without the I got a kilo, we meeting up with this connect. It's really about a love story from the perspective of Ethic, of course, from Moth to a Flame, and him finding new love and having these 3 children, who one of them, Morgan, who is again coming from Moth to a Flame, growing up to now she's grown, right? She's now, I think at the end she was still young, and then until now she's turning 18. Okay, kind of coming into her own. And I don't know, because in Moth to a Flame she was deaf. Yeah. So it talks about like she's really like, okay. So it just gives a lot. And so I want to say he was in Moth to a Flame. The guy Messiah. Yeah. So so the main love story is Ethic finding new love with someone, Morgan finding herself new love. Okay. So it's really nice. And so now have read it, because I wasn't necessarily keeping up with all of her books, because you have Moth to a Flame. At the end of Moth to Flame, you start reading Ethic. Right. After Ethic, then you read Butterfly.
Yes. But you skipped and read Butterfly.
I don't think I did.
You did, because we talked about it on the podcast.
But you know what? Maybe I only read the first one, because the first one seems like it's more.
So it is Butterfly and then Butterfly 2.
Yeah, because it was Butterfly like 6.
It's 6 of them?
Books. Oh, okay.
It's
a lot of
I
books
didn't know that.
Them. So, and then I got into, so I don't mind. Now I've realized I don't mind. I don't like when women read for men. Because it's like all the men sound like she'll be talking like this, and then, well, you know, kind of thing, right? And it bothered me, because for all of the Ethic books, the main books, it was just women reading it. Now, I did end up liking this one woman that does it, Nicole Smalls.
Oh, I like her. I like Nicole.
So they have, she did some Christmas editions, because now I'm invested in their family, right? Yeah. The Christmas edition that I read, because it's 2 of them, so I haven't read the second one, because one of them was 2020, one of them is 2021. So 2020 I was listening to. It was a man reading it. I don't like men. First of all, I can't stand when a man
tries to imitate a woman's voice.
It does something to my soul. I couldn't even it wasn't even something I want, because I was going to sleep to listening to it, and I was like, oh shit, I need to go back. I would fall asleep to it. When that man was saying, oh girl, I said, get the out of here. It gets pisses me off. So I do want to read the second one. That was 2021, but I am going to, on our way to, I'm gonna save it. When we on our way to South Carolina, I'm gonna have that in the car because I know the kids want to have their music.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have it take his motorcycle down.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be the only driver. So when I tell you into it, I'm gonna be into it.
One of my girlfriends doesn't. She will read the Kindle book and listen to the audio, and as soon as it starts, like when she can't take the author, she'll just read that part, and then she'll try to pick back up in the audio because it's like she just can't even deal with it.
It just be like, dude,
I don't mind it. Like it does get a little cringy, but like I just power through.
I said, what are you saying? Because and then the thing is, a man talking about a sexual thing, it gives me shut your ass up. Because I think a woman talking about it is very sensual.
Yeah,
she like lowers her voice a bit, and I'm like, I don't want to hear Shannon Sharp in my ear talking about he done put the thing up in there. Shut up. Yeah, I feel violent. So yeah, that's but funny. I have gotten to the point on my ride home.
So that's what I was telling you. That's how I get through the books.
And then, but look, I'm in the car and they say so. I was like, right. say that. I'm like, oh, y'all get on my nerve. I'm into it.
I'd be doing that too. Talking back to the book, like I know you
and
didn't.
It's like, you can't, because it's different when you're reading it and then trying to respond. But when somebody's saying it and you can imagine it at the same time, child, I was like, now shut your ass up. and then read it, like she would be getting ready to say something, and I would say exactly what that line is, because in my mind I'm like, yeah, because that's crazy. But it was good. It was so good. It was so good.
Okay, I gotta read Ethic. I haven't.
I think I truly believe with this now storyline, I think that you will appreciate it. Because it just doesn't, and I'm not sure about Butterfly, but it just seems like it's going to take away less of the drug element and give you more of a love story. Okay. Because they're not really talking, like, because Ethic is out of the game. Even the ones that are still in the game, they don't really talk about their business like that. They'll go missing, or they know they got something to handle, or I'm pushing this. But it's very, like, matter of fact, I just needed to push the story along.
Right. Because I feel like Moth to a Flame was really drug happy. To me, it was.
Because they had, like, it was, like, nobody was out the game. Everybody was all up in it.
And that was kind of the plot of it, right? Yes. Like, she wouldn't have been involved in any of that if she wasn't dealing with this guy that was trying to, like, basically overthrow her dad. Yes. So that was literally the whole plot of it. So, of course, that was in it, but...
It's a maturing plot of it. And so with Morgan's stuff, it definitely continues to... Because it adds in a new element of travel. It adds in
let me ask you, does her friend ever pop back up? The girl who got shot?
So no one from Moth to a Flame shows up in retrospect to anything that has to do with Raven. Okay. So there's no like
only the son.
Right. So only the sister. The son, and then his child that he already had, right? And so basically his crew, like it's heavy.
So
on
it's ethics story. We kind of done with Raven stuff.
That everything that happened. You hear a lot about Raven because that's cool. Yeah, you know it shows why like Morgan has her issues and stuff like that with the new love or whatever. But it talks a little bit about. I'm trying to think. It's a couple people, and I don't remember if they were in Moth to a Flame, but it's people that he had been dealing with, you know, throughout. And I think it is, her name is, not Dolce, because I think she was in that one too. That was somebody he just kind of messed around with. But it's another one that he thought he had a baby by, that he really, really loved. I want to say it's Yaya.
I don't think that was it.
What?
I mean, the Yaya girl that's not who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no. Oh, this is somebody, again, this is ethic heavy. Got it. Yaya, I know, was in the other one.
Mafia Mamas?
I think so, because you know those all.
Yeah. But it's the same universe.
Yes, because she ended up being with this other drug dealer And so he thought he had a baby with her, and she told him that it was not. So I think it was like overlapping stuff. Um, but anyway, it's nothing like nothing on Raven's side outside of Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. But it was. I think that it's a good listen to, and I could see you being just like me, like going the hell off on some of them.
I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna try to listen. I'll probably listen to it this week. I got a couple of things on my TBR, but especially if the first one's free, I'll try to listen to it this week.
Yeah, if you like the first one, you'll like it as it goes further in.
Okay.
Yeah, because at that point you have to know.
Yeah,
you gotta know.
Good. So I'm glad you're reading now.
I can't wait till we go on this cruise, because I tell you, in the books, on my balcony. You ain't gotta tell me.
So I gave you some recommendations. So you gotta put those on your list.
I will put those on my list. And I'll go through those, and I think and then I said, you know what, to help me to open up my palette, those ones that are free, just read whatever's free, and just to see.
I'll send you
thrillers. I'm not listening to no thrillers.
No, I won't send you any thrillers, but I'll send you some good free ones. Yeah, I'll send you some good free ones.
Yeah, so. But yeah, so transitioning a little bit, I know. So this has been trending, especially ever since they got signed. I can't now listen. I know Angel was with the Sky, and I know this is my territory. This is sports. It's a little sports. And Caitlin Clark went to Indiana, but I don't know the name of the actual team.
Okay,
so. It seems as if, so there are two, so as we all know, Caitlin Clark is this, everybody's talking about she's the best, and she's going to be the best in the NBA, she's the blah, 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 because she was a good college athlete, basketball athlete. Angel Reese is a good athlete. It's some other young ladies, the new recruits or whatever. But we just want to...
Indiana Fever.
Okay. So I'm just comparing them two, because that's literally how I got introduced to actually watching the WNBA, like really paying attention. I'll be honest with you, I like sports, but I get so wound up, especially when I'm really rooting for somebody. I'm in the game, okay? Like when I be telling people, why are you mad? Even if they lose, they still getting paid.
Yeah.
For me, I would be that out of control fan, and I don't got time for that to be in my life. I got an 18-year-old child to be driving. I don't got time for no more stress. But what I want to discuss is the difference in how they're responding to, number one, being now being in the WNBA, and how people are treating them different. How not just the players, but how the
media coverage,
how the NBA players are talking about stuff, and just kind of the way that they have how they as individuals are attacking or showing up in this season. Their very first season, excuse me. So you have Caitlin Clark, who everybody's like, oh, when she go to the NBA, she gonna be this, she gonna be that, blah, blah, blah. She reminds you of Steph Curry because she does a lot of threes, blah, 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 blah. From what I've seen, she is a fucking baby.
Yeah.
She cries about this is like real, like these are the athletes that did not go to college or did not make it made it out of college and have gone to the next level.
Right.
It's a lot of people that's out here that can play basketball and that can play basketball for college that's not going to the NBA, WNBA.
Absolutely.
So these women are going to play, and they always say the way that these women play is definitely harsher than how men play. When I say they knocking her ass around that damn court.
Yeah.
But she's responding in when she's not getting her way, very much so huffity puffity. And so then now you have this media coverage and NBA players coming out saying, y'all need to be lighter on Caitlin Clark because she's bringing y'all the money. She's carrying the whole WNBA on her fucking back. Now there's this girl. Oh, okay, let me stick to these two. So you have this. They giving people technicals when they push her a little too hard. She pouting, as I hate to say it like this, but as they say, you get these white woman tears when she comes into the after game press conference. she's like, I mean, they just a little, being aggressive, but I guess that it's just a game and it's that, like, but you can see it's very somber, right?
Yeah. Or sarcastic.
Or very like sarcastic-y and very, I want to, you could tell it's like, I want sympathy.
Yeah.
Now, you have Angel Reese who got fucking choked. Mm-hmm. Like, they giving her the business, especially she's tall. She's, what's the ones that's usually, she usually closer to the backboard court area because she's taller. Mm-hmm. So she's going to do the rebound. She's like your Shaq, right? The ones that are further back. She's not like a ball handler and stuff like, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway. When I say they checking her ass, throwing her to the ground, this, that, and the fourth, real bad. She goes to her press conference and she's like, I'm a rookie. Like, this is the WNBA. Mm-hmm. This is what, like, I'm glad that she said, the person that did it to her, she was like, we don't have a problem with each other, but the game is the game.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that she showed me the game is the fucking game. I got to come out here and it's not going to stop me from playing because I need to now play at a different level. And it just shows the level of where we always have to be so much better. But yet everybody's like, no one's giving you the coverage of that Angel.
Of like they're being too hard on Angel Reese and they need to stop. Yeah.
And that motherfucker, when she came up in that, I mean, she's giving points. She's doing rebounds. She up in there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't like how they do us so bad. And then my other thing is, you're talking about Caitlin Clark, but I think it's Aja Wilson. She been in there for a minute. I'll show you her. That motherfucker plays. You hear me? It's a bunch of women. I'm like, it's other Caucasian women that's been in there for a minute. Why do you think this person that just graduated going into the WNBA is going to be the end all be all?
Yeah.
Like, she is not the white woman savior of the whole WNBA, really? And then they talk. And one of the things that Angel said, she was like, you can't talk about her without talking about me. Because the reason that a lot of people know about her is because of that game that I won the championship on when I did this.
Right.
Because that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
So it was like, she's like, and I'll play the villain, but you can't say her name and not say mine too.
Right.
And that's true. And I was, this is my last little point. I saw a snippet of Stephen A. Mm-hmm. He's a sports commentator. Him, Shannon Sharp, and it's another young lady. I can't think of her name, but they had her on as a guest. And so one of the things that she said to Stephen A. because I can't remember the full conversation, but one of the things that she said, because he's been a sports commentator for a very long time, she was like, yeah, because he was like, it needs to be more coverage on the WNBA, this, that, and the fourth. And she said, yeah, and I Stephen A., I you my boy, this, that, and the fourth, but you could have done better too. Mm-hmm. And so he took it as, so he now does this whole thing. You know about her because she's on our show. You know about this and that. And so one of the things, I was watching a podcast and he said, you took that as you didn't do anything. Somebody saying you could do more doesn't mean you didn't do anything. Absolutely. But you took that shit and you came out here because she's black, because you feel like you can talk to her a certain kind of way. Mm-hmm. Then you come with, well, you ain't know about these people. I do my part. If you felt you did your part, you wouldn't be saying this.
Yeah.
You could have been like, you know what? You're right. I could have done more coverage. Because I tell you what, when the WNBA is happening, they still talking about football practice.
Yeah.
And what the Cowboys doing, they're not even in season. Mm-hmm. It's a fresh WNBA game. Mm-hmm. Please. So the coverage is very different, but Angel becomes even more likable because of how she just carries herself. She's like she is the prime example of an all-around ball player.
Yeah.
And I just like her. I just really like it. There's nothing against Caitlin Clark, but grow up.
Yeah.
This like grow up.
Yeah, I did see, I was watching CNN and one of the commentators on there was doing a piece on this and just saying that when it comes to any sport, mm-hmm. the rookies, the new kids on the block, they normally will get a little bit more pressure applied to them from the veterans because it's a rite of passage, right? Like, we've been out here grinding, we've been out here doing this. Really, in any sport, even like with football, they're watching these guys in college and they're seeing who's going to be drafted, and then they basically, the spotlight is on you. Like, okay, what are you going to do now that you're in the league? Where you have people that have been in the league and they're like, I know the world's watching you, but I've been here for a minute, and so the world may be watching you, but you still got to get past me.
You got to get past me, and I've been up in here.
Yeah, so what they're experiencing is not a unique. It's not unique.
It's not.
And for them to be covering it in a way of like, oh, they're it's like, no, they've done this to everybody.
They do this to everybody.
It's just that now, and I will say, like you said earlier, it's not like Caitlin Clark is carrying the WNBA on her back. I think to a certain extent she is, as far as the popularity of it, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think for Black people, we're more so watching Angel Reese, but I think for a maid, like the white audience is watching Caitlin Clark. And so there is a level of responsibility where she is bringing eyes to the game, and I do appreciate that. But also, this is the sport, this is the culture of the sport that you entered. Right. So you have to understand that the same way a freshman comes into college and you're a senior, you giving them the business because you know what I mean. Yeah. So this is the same way you're going into now. The major leagues, they're gonna give you. They're not holding back. Why should they? You need to rise to their level. They shouldn't hold back. Rise to the occasion.
And so one of the things somebody, and I can't remember the other player, but they said, and when it was the NBA, oh child, when it was your man's up in the mic, he back. When it was the NBA, it was Larry Bird and another person, and because the NBA way back when used to be time delayed. The reason that it changed from the time delay is because of Larry Bird and the other person that kind of like your Angel Reese and your Caitlin Clark, because now all of a sudden it became live because he was just doing shit. Yeah. So with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, you couldn't find their games. Now it's more popular because people want to see it. Yeah. So it's the same thing. So the NBA went through the same transition. Earlier, and so it's just the time that you just needed the two people to cause more eyes to get on them. Yeah. But I don't believe it's not just Caitlin Clark. I think that Caitlin Clark got the notoriety that she has now because of what happened that finals game. She, like, if that finals game didn't happen, everybody would be looking at her just like they would look at Steph Curry.
Right, but I guess what I'm trying to say is if Caitlin Clark decided, you know what, I'm not going to do this basketball thing. I'm going to go be a doctor. I don't think that there's a certain amount of eyes that are there just for her. And if she didn't go to the WNBA, you have that percentage of people that wouldn't be watching.
But I think on the flip side of that, then you have the people that weren't watching, that will watch games anyway. Or it's the women's playing. It's nothing else on. I'm gonna watch. You have people now that didn't even watch any of the games. So I think you may have it where it's a little imbalanced, but I truly believe that you may have watched her in the beginning specifically for her, but when you start seeing these other players, especially definitely. Because she losing by 36 points and shit like that, it's like, oh wait, now I see other women that could really do the thing. So you may have started there, but you ain't ending there.
And it's her popularity, right? It's not her. I mean, not completely her sportsmanship, because like you said, I'm coming because of your popularity, but then I see you playing and I'm now being exposed to better players. So now I'm watching because, wait a minute.
I like such and such. Yeah, I might have came for Steph Curry, but or I might have come for LeBron, but this new dude that came in. Exactly. Or this, that, and the fourth. So, yeah, but the coverage and the sportsmanship, it's just, you can just see such a difference in these two ladies, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, she's young. Yeah. So hopefully she'll kind of
pull it together,
and switch up. And I also think that, it's your responsibility too to I hate to say it like this, but this is my personal feeling. It's also her responsibility to kind of change the narrative about how people are viewing you, right? Because like you said, we already kind of have a estranged public relationship with the way white women present. And so,
and now you catering to that.
For you to perpetuate that, to me, it's kind of it's the same way with us. Like, hey, it's already so many ratchet black. It's already so many sexy reds. You know, so every now and then when you have somebody that's in a notable position as a community, we're like, it would be more beneficial to us if you didn't act like that,
right?
Because we are not trying to, yes, we do have that in our culture, but we're not trying to push that narrative forward.
Right.
There are plenty of white people that don't feed into that.
Yes.
And so I would hope that she would, you know, open up her eyes and say, you know what, let me not perpetuate that narrative.
Right.
Because being in a sport that is predominantly black, I'm sure there's duality to her personality. Like, I'm sure, I hope that you're not always feeling like, oh, I'm the victim.
Yes.
Right?
Very much so.
I hope. Because you have to have made some connections where you understand that you have privilege in this thing and they don't.
Yes. And that's the thing that's the biggest thing that I also think about. Now, all of the, because with Angel Reese's situation, it was two black people, right? Her and the other player. With Caitlin Clark, of course, you're in competition with more of a black women in the game.
Yeah.
So then you have a lot of racists.
Right.
You have yet to say this is the game. It's not.
Right.
You don't even combat that. Like, so you continue, like, you
in your own sport. Like these are
on.
Also, while they may be opposing team members, this is your sport.
So you have to be
you can't sit there and let people say hateful things to other people within your sport, because you never know when you may get traded on their team, when you may have to, you're against this person right now, but there may come a time where that person may be on your team.
And then the other thing is, as we've seen with our last president, they go crazy for the people that they love. And sometimes you have to be, like, not saying nothing is not okay anymore.
Right.
You have to say something, because when you don't, people be losing their minds. And next thing you know, you get players with death threats and stuff like that, just because you got a little bit of an elbow.
Right.
You can't, it's no longer okay to do
It's
that.
irresponsible.
So it's very irresponsible. Mm-hmm. It's very irresponsible. So.
Yeah.
But that was a sports talk.
Speaking of the sport, especially women's basketball, has me thinking about my godfather that passed earlier this year. He was really into sports, into all kinds of sports. And the first WNBA game I ever went to, he took me to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so I get seeing all of this now, it's kind of like, I know he would be like into like he would be calling me like, did you see what happened? And I'd be like,
okay.
I don't
like,
know.
He don't want to keep you involved.
Yeah, he was trying to like tell me what's going on and teach me stuff and stuff like that. And with Father's Day coming up, it just kind of has me like reflecting on that. It didn't really dawn on me until like probably, I don't know, yesterday. Like, this Father's Day would be the first Father's Day without my godfather and my grandfather. Yeah. So my dad's still around, but like we didn't grow up together, so we're not that close. Those two raised me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, dang, you know, like.
So are you going to do anything special just for in the remembrance of them? Have you thought about doing something?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, both of them were kind of like no fuss kind of guys. Like they were both the kind of, like my godfather definitely, he liked to be acknowledged. Like, and he was a memento kind of person. Yeah. So like literally anything you gave him, he kept. My granddad, he was more of a, it's the thought that counts. Gotcha. And like if we did like a cookout or anything like that, he's the kind of person that would be. He would be in the basement or he would be in the back room, and he wouldn't come out until the end of the cookout.
Oh, hey, y'all.
He'd say his highs, say his byes, and then be gone. So I'm trying to think of like not what they would want, but like they weren't like big to do kind of men.
Yeah.
So to be like, oh, I'm having this big cook, that wasn't their thing. Yeah. That would be more for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. Normally so before my godfather passed, normally every Father's Day after my granddad passed, I would wear, we had shirts made with his picture on it for his funeral. So usually every Father's Day I would wear that shirt. But now I'm like, well, maybe I need to make another one.
Yeah.
So that to have them both on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what.
I mean, and it doesn't have to be anything big. Just even the acknowledgement, or having a conversation with them on Father's Day.
Maybe, because I'm also not a big like visit a gravesite kind of person.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and it could also be okay. Now it's been a year. You could write a letter to them.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Just talk about the things that have happened and how what you've gone through to make you think about them, where you are in this process of a year. It's a purging of your own feelings for them, kind of thing.
That's good. I may do that.
Grab a little glass of wine, little candle, and then you can burn it. And
I may do that. I may do that. Yeah, I may do that. I wasn't thinking about that. If I'm being totally honest, I was just gonna let the day pass by.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, maybe I should do something.
It's like to acknowledge. A lot of times, the acknowledgement isn't for them. It's just for you, so that you know that no matter, so you can just kind of reflect on a life lost.
Yeah, I definitely could see it being cathartic.
Yeah, just yo, child, this is because sometimes, and I don't necessarily write it down. But I do, like on Justin's birthdays, and I stopped posting a while ago, but I'll have my conversations with him. And just kind of catch him up, because we talk about him so much throughout the year. But I just will take a drive and just talk to him through my drive and, stuff like that, and see what he's, got going on. So, well, not really see what he got going on, but
right.
Keep him in the loop. Yeah. Because I know he's there watching us and stuff like that, but be like, let me tell you how I really feel, though.
Right. I might do that.
We were.
What do you have planned for Father's Day?
So I made reservations for us to take D out for Father's Day. His gift is on back order, so I won't get it until afterwards. So it's a couple other things I want to get him. We're supposed to do a cookout at my parents' house for the fathers. But I'm just being honest with you. I want to see I have a really good relationship with my dad, like super good relationship with my dad. And it's doing this would literally be for him, and so that he and all of us as his children could be there for him. But I just wanted to. I'm not really not. I love my brothers. I really do, and not just because they my like blood, but Terrence and I are working on our relationship, right? I think I've mentioned before, I've done some things in my life, and they felt that everybody wants you to be. They want your life to turn out how they want your life to turn out, right? They don't want you to take the hard roads and stuff like that. But within that, it is also still my life, and as long as I'm making the right decisions in my life, that should really only be what counts.
And they don't necessarily agree with every decision you make.
Correct.
And so that causes that tension.
Correct. And so in that, for me, I'm just like, I still do what I want to do, and I'm good with that. I can understand if I was doing stuff and then having a pity party and being like, I don't know why these things are happening to me when I know that I'm making conscious decisions to do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not that.
Right.
Whatever decision I make, I'm going to make the best out of that decision. But I have my older brother and I, we just really don't have we don't have a relationship. And I'm getting to a point as I'm getting older is I don't want to spend time with people that I'm just not like, just because we're family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind just saying, okay, let's just, I'll just do something with Dad. And
like on your own.
On my own. And really, like, so we could chit chat and talk, him and maybe myself, my mom, D, and, like go out to dinner or something like that. But I'm getting to a place where I do not want to be in proximity with people that we only talk because
Like it's no basis to the relationship. Like we
No, I'm not gonna
literally
call
are
you
only connected
because it's a family
of
event.
the relationship.
Yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. And the thing is, I'm okay with it too. You know, it's not that it's any malice or I'm holding a grudge. It's kind of just like I want to just be around people that want to be around me.
That is very, I'm going to use the word evolved, right? Because I see myself in that on the flip side where I almost have a little bit of guilt of like, well, that's my cousin, or that's my aunt, or that's my this. And so I feel like if I don't make an effort, or if I'm not at the function, I don't know, I feel like you said there may not be any basis to the relationship other than we're related.
Yeah.
But I feel a certain obligation.
Yeah, I've
even if I know like me and that person ain't that cool, but it's like, well, that's my cousin. So so that's why I say it's a little bit evolved, because I couldn't even fathom right now in this moment taking the approach of, oh, like we ain't cool, like you may be my cousin, but I ain't going. I honestly am like, well, they didn't call me, they didn't invite me, so now I feel justified in it. But like if I had a family member right now reach out to me for something, even though we haven't talked in a while, I would feel some obligation. Well, the thing is, and I may not do it, but like I would still feel guilty afterwards. Like I didn't go to such and such baby shower. I kind of feel bad. Yeah. But it's like you don't even talk. You and such don't talk.
And that's the thing. And so, getting a little deeper into it, when I lost my son, my oldest brother wasn't there for me. He wasn't there for my kids. I have had things. I've been in my home. Next year will be 10 years. They've never been to my house. Janae had her prom send off in Bowie. They did not show up. And she sent, now, not even me, she sent it in the family group chat. Like, I would like everybody to come. If you're able to make it, just let me know. And it's really like, you could just do a drive-by. You don't do that.
And how many years between y'all, you and your oldest brother?
My oldest brother and I are, it's either 18 or 19.
So it's a big age gap.
But even in that, because he and my sister are 2 years apart. So let's say if it's,
but you're close with your sister,
right? So if it's 18 years I think it's 20. So if it's 20 years for my brother, it's 18 years for my sister.
And she still finds a way to
she's found a way. She'll show up for my, especially because, and I've mentioned it. I've definitely mentioned it to my parents, and I don't, a lot of times they're trying to bring us all together, and so I was more around her, being the younger sister, so she would take me to her mom's house when she would have cooking. I would be around. But it's still the simple fact of, as the older sibling, you don't even try.
Yeah.
And so I get that there are different personalities and all of this, that, and the fourth. But the at least you can do is to try. And it's like, I've gotten to a place, and I think I've mentioned this time and time again, where as I've gotten older, if you don't hold space for me, I don't have time to hold space for you.
Yeah.
And there's no love lost in it. I would hurt if something happens to you, all of the things. That don't change how I feel about it. Yeah. And this is not something that y'all were super close and then y'all fell out. Like there was no work on the foundation. So the house ain't gonna be built, and that's okay. Sometimes that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but I'm just like, that's not. And then this would be, well, Kendra, why you didn't show up? Because again, it's not as if everybody's estranged. You only estranged from one person, so you don't show up to the family thing or this, that, and the fourth. And it's just like, but I could really be doing something with people like my kids, and we could really be having a good time. And if that's who y'all want, like y'all enjoy each other. So enjoy each other. If I send a text message and nobody responds, and then when my sister or brother sends a text message, that's when you respond, I don't have nothing to say.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing nothing together. I'm not going to be the one, hey, Mom, can you reach out to such and such, because what are they bringing? They're not responding to me. I'm over that.
Yeah.
We are at the point. I'm not 16 and you 45. I'm damn near 40.
Mm-hmm. Which means you're damn near 60. Yeah.
So no. So for this Father's Day, and I think that, like I said,
But I mean, so like, do you think your dad would be disappointed if you didn't come to
I've
like the
had
big
a,
family thing?
I don't know. Like I said, I've had a conversation with my dad, and it was not so much in depth where we sat and talked face to face, but I've mentioned to him because we were talking about something like having a little cookout, and I was like, "Can you?" I said, "Can you respond in the group chat?" Because he's not going to respond, but yet he can have a 20-minute conversation about drinks with my sister in a family group chat. So it's not as if you're foreign to the phone.
Yeah, you
You
respond to certain people.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if you can respond to that of that little importance because you're having a drink on Delta Airlines, you can't respond to us trying to do something as a family. I told my mom, I said, we have not, because they were like, we went a whole year without having a cookout. And I had a conversation with her. I said, you know why we went a whole year? Because I didn't plan nothing. And I didn't force the issue. And she was like, well, I mean, I said, and I'm not going to. And now that I have my own, it doesn't disclude the family that I have, but I have my own family now, and I have people that want to spend time with me. And I promise you, the little bubble that I have, that we're creating, and of course, we always bring my parents in, right? But I think it happens a lot. My mother says it happens a lot with women who get into relationships because you usually follow what the man has going, like their family stuff. You see not less and less, but I've seen it with my brother Terrence and his wife, because we're only 2 years apart. I see she's more around our family than he is around hers, and it's not anything like they don't like each other, anything like that, but it's just like we just did more.
Yeah.
And they're like her mom, like she's the only child. It's a bunch of us.
Yeah.
Well, not a bunch, but it's a bunch of us. But yes, I think that it would be where is Kendra kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've been not invited to a lot of stuff that I know about, and no one has said anything, but it's been posted on Facebook, and all of my siblings were there would accept me, and I didn't even get an invite.
I would take that personal. I would take it so personal.
And it was like I think everybody else took it more personally than I did.
I would be in my feelings about that.
I've evolved to a place where I get it. And the thing is, I'm not the same person that I was. So everywhere you can go, baby, I could do the too.
And I guess I kind of understand why you kind of feel how you feel now. If stuff like that has been happening, you get to the point where you like, dog, I'm over you. And now I understand it to a certain extent because my brother, my dad's son, we cool, but like we don't talk on a regular basis. Like my sister, my dad's daughter, we're very close. And of course I'm close with my mom's kids, but like my dad's son, people say we look alike, but other than that, you wouldn't even know we were related. Yeah. Like we don't follow each other on any social media. I don't have his phone number. He doesn't have mine. Now when I see him at a family function, it's always, hey, what's up? It's always cordial, but like, yeah, anything that he has going on in his life, he wouldn't necessarily tell me about.
Yeah.
And anything I had going on in my life, I wouldn't necessarily tell him about.
Yeah.
However, I know me. And if he called me right now and was like, hey, I got this going on, I got that going on, even if I wasn't a part of it, for whatever reason, I would still feel some guilt of like, damn, he reached out to me and I didn't come through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's one thing about that relationship that I have with my brother. He wouldn't even call. We don't talk.
Yeah.
So it's not even like that. It's like even at a family function, it's a hey, give a hug, because it just would be awkward if we did not. But even for years, like I think definitely after Jonathan, and then years after that, like we would be at a family function, and it's so funny because I'm gonna be still my personality, and he would be very standoffish, and then he would like drinks would start flowing, and I would say something funny, and then it would be like he would respond, but like realize he just responded and he really didn't want to, kind of thing, and it'd be like, bro, it's not that deep for me. Yeah, it really is not, because what I'm gonna do when I leave here, I don't live here, I'm gonna go home.
So is it just you? Like, is he cool with Terrence? Oh, we ain't gotta get into your personal business on the podcast, but that just seems weird. Like, he's cool with your sister, he's cool with your brother, he's just not cool with you.
Yeah.
I wonder if but see, you and Terrence only 2 years apart. Because I'm like, I wonder if he's upset that your parents end up having kids, like, because you know how it can be like when I could just imagine like being 20 and then finding out that like my dad about to have another baby.
Well,
but then why take that out on you?
But the thing is, and I'm saying 20. I don't think that it was because, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it was because when Rhonda was potty training Terrence, she was pregnant with me. Rhonda was 16 when she was like she was still in high school. So like summer break, she was watching Terrence. My mother was pregnant. Terrence and I are only 2 years apart.
Right.
Ronnie and my siblings are 2.5 years apart. So
he may have been 18, 19.
Right. Yeah. So even if you're out of the house, and again, I get it. Even when I was born, Rhonda was out of the house. Like my brother went to college from like home. He lived in the same house as us. We all lived together. Then when he got married, of course went on. My sister was home more, but it's not even. I don't even think it's about that. I feel like.
You think he don't talk to you because of your life choices?
Yeah, this is what I know.
So y'all was cool then?
It was never. This is the problem. This is the problem. No, we weren't, because when I was younger, I think when I got pregnant with Jalen, this stands out to me, and I know. Listen, at this point, I don't really give a damn, but he called. This is the first time that because we were never like tight, like it wasn't like that. But he called me. He was like, I heard that you were pregnant, and I know I ain't been in your life like that, but I think it's time for me to get in. I'm like, I'm 20-something years old. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
No. So, but I have had a relationship with my nephews, not to the point what I would have wanted to, but he don't have a relationship with my kids.
And so this is his son.
So one of my nephews, I went to Tampa and I ended up seeing a couple years ago. His name is Jordan Love. Jordan. That's his stepson. And then I have my other nephew, RC. And again, he's working now. He's older. I never really got a really great relationship with him because
of things with his dad.
Yeah, I don't really talk to him like that. So.
But y'all are cordial at least.
Yeah.
That's wild. Even like the kids are like, okay, we cool, but you still acting weird.
But then I don't see them that often because Jordan rolled out. He's now living in Tampa, thriving. I wish I had a better relationship with him. But my biggest thing, and I'm always an advocate for my kids, when my kids come to me and be like, I don't have a relationship with my aunts and uncles like that. And then I'm kind of like, I can't be cool if you ain't cool with them.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I still want to wish him a happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
I want nothing but the best. But
what I was going to suggest was maybe just do something like for your dad, whether it be like before Father's Day.
I think I'm going to go over there.
Just with your dad and your family. Like he can be with his grandkids and you and like.
That was, I think, the day before was the winery. Mm-hmm. And in that evening I was going to maybe get some food and go over there and just kind of chop it up with him and stuff. But
even if you hung out like that Friday night.
Yeah. Because I mean, like I said, I enjoyed my father be giving. I tell y'all about his wisdom all the time.
Wednesday. Wait, no. It's the 15th. That's the 19th. Mm-hmm. Never mind. Oh, y'all could do it afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be... I think the thing is, the Father's Day stuff was not planned. I threw it out there. My mother was like, oh, that's a good idea. And that was the end of that. Okay. For me.
Okay.
So...
Quiet as it's kept, you may be able to celebrate with him on Sunday because it sounds like your brother is a hit or miss.
Yeah, and again, they hang out. No, because they hang out like heavy.
I'm saying, but like on the big family stuff. Yeah. It sounds like he's a hit or miss. Like he may not even come to a big family function.
They go to all the
Oh, they go into all the family functions. That's what I'm saying.
He's cool with everybody. So we only see each other at the family functions.
That's crazy.
And they live down the street from my parents, so he'd be stopping through on a Tuesday, and because he works from home and stuff like that. Anyway, but that was.
I don't know how much we're gonna keep in, y'all. Kendra got deep.
But you know what? For me, in that situation, it's a lot of people that go through it.
Yeah, true.
So I'm not.
Well, we it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm not tripping.
I just
if
feel
somebody
like
called me and say something, I'm like, so and what in everything that I said,
where was the lie?
Where was the lie?
I know, but I just feel like sometimes we can put a lot of ourselves out there, and so it's open to criticism from other people.
And the thing is, this is my perspective.
Yeah, I
can't. He can say, well, you said this or you did this, and this is why I feel this way. He ain't never told me or came to me with nothing.
So all you have is your perspective.
All I have is my perspective, and that you don't like my lifestyle. I'm cool with that. There's a lot of people that I have love for that I don't have in my life because I don't like their lifestyle. It don't matter if we can or not. Yeah. If I don't like your lifestyle, baby, it is what it is. It's no love lost or because I don't like you. It's just, okay, we just don't mesh. And families members, just because you come from the same people or same person, don't mean you're gonna mesh because you're still people. That's true. Right? The family is what you make it, not who you born into. So, amen. With that being said, on that note, happy Father's Day. It's Great for Loving Day. Yeah. It was just Pride just happened. My kids went to Pride last night, so of course Pride Month. We mentioned that last time. Keep celebrating, keep them flags going. Yeah. And
as you said before, anybody could be a father, but
it takes a lot to be a dad.
To be a daddy. Yeah.
Oof, child. If you want to say something, preach it.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads.
Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Listen, if anybody else going through what I'm going through, go through it with me, baby.
Yeah, drop down in the comments.
Oh. Mark your calendars.
Yes.
June 18th.
Wait. Yes.
Yes, June 18th.
I was trying
to going live.
I was trying to get my dates together in my head. Yes. June 18th, we're going live on Instagram. So Insta. If you don't already, follow us on Instagram so you can hop in our live and interact with us.
Thoughts in the
letter N, a
glass. And make sure you follow us. Get on that live. That now everybody that keeps saying they want to chime in when we start talking, chime in.
Yeah. So definitely. All right. We drinking it.
All of that. We're gonna drink to that. I hope y'all have a wonderful Father's Day. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Enjoy.